about keeping meetings at Christmas time short without specifying what short was. Can you say now for tiers 1, 2 and 3 whether that should be seeing Granny for a cup of tea for an hour, a 2-hour Christmas lunch, or 4 hours going to sleep over the telly?
Well, no, Nigel. First of all, thank you very much. But we've always taken account of scientific advice, always tried to follow it, and that is what we're doing today, because the science is clearly changing and has changed in the sense that our understanding of this new virus, its transmissibility, has been radically shifted just in the last 24 hours, and certainly the understanding of the people before you here this afternoon. And we simply can't ignore that. And that's why we're taking these extra steps today to protect the country.
In answer to the question you put to me, I mean, what I said, and I'm very happy to repeat it, is to the extent you possibly can, keep it small, keep it short, keep it local, and remember the vulnerable are vulnerable. And that is still absolutely the message. So if you've got your grandmother, you really want to minimise the amount of contact. You want to keep it at a distance. You do want to have the shortest period you can, because what you really want is to get to the point when your grandmother has been vaccinated, ideally when you and people around you have been vaccinated, taking the risk right down. At that point, we're in a different place. But at this point in time, at this really, really critical and dangerous time, pre-vaccine but high transmission, I would repeat it: keep it small, keep it short, keep it local, and remember the vulnerable. And short should mean as short as you can manage with a reasonable social interaction.
And I think one way to think about it is assume you could be infectious. I mean, it's not somebody else's issue, it's your own issue. You might be infectious, and that's the way that we have to behave at this moment. Assume you might be infectious.
Yes, it can't be stressed too often that a lot of the transmission of the infection is by people who don't have symptoms at the time. And I don't think people who still now fully get that in the way that perhaps they need to. It's absolutely vital, I think. I think 1 in 3 infections are transmitted asymptomatically still, and people really need to realise that. Can we go to Anna Mikhailova of the Mail on Sunday?
Prime Minister, you said earlier that when the facts change, you have to change your approach. But the facts 3 days ago were you knew about the new strain and you knew that infections were rising. And still you said it was too late to cancel Christmas. How do you expect people to follow the rules when they keep changing? And secondly, another question for you, Prime Minister, are you going to put any additional support in place for businesses and shops that have to close now?
Thanks, Anna. Well, on the facts of the science, I think we've tried to spell out this afternoon what has changed, and what has changed is the velocity of transmission, our understanding of how fast this disease is transmitted, and the susceptibility of people to getting it. As I say, NervTag thinks it's up to 70% more transmissible now than the old variant. We simply can't ignore that. That's data that's been in our possession now for a day or so. We have to act to protect the public. And obviously, Anna, we will do everything that we can, as usual, to look after business, to look after jobs and livelihoods throughout the pandemic. And we'll continue to do that with the loan scheme, with furloughing, which the Chancellor has now extended right the way through to the end of April. We'll continue to look after people. Businesses that are forced to close as a result of what alas, is happening, they will receive the protections that we have put in place, the loans, the grants that we've put in place, and we'll continue with all that. But I want to stress that this is still a race, and we still are doing our absolute level best to protect the public, whilst we know that the vaccine is arriving. And I'm very, very confident, more confident than ever, that we'll get that vaccine into a significant proportion of the population by the spring, and that things will be radically different for our country by Easter. I'm absolutely convinced of that. And although this is unquestionably a difficult moment in the campaign against this virus, in the struggle against this virus, those fundamental facts, that fundamental reason for optimism about the progress that we have made, that remains unchanged. Thank you all very much.